What's up everybody, another beautiful day indeed, Dragonals, and today we're taking a look at Echo of Neltharion in the new raid Aberrus, the Shadowed Crucible. Now I'll be going over all the new mechanics, how they work and how to deal with them. Keep in mind that this is PTR, so things can change or be reworked. And honestly, a lot of things didn't work here while testing, so take all of this with a pinch of salt. But I'll cover what did work and how it's supposed to work. So this is a 3-phase fight. Phase 2 starts at 70%, phase 3 starts when phase 2 adds are defeated, and you cannot bring boss lower than 40% during second phase. So let's take a look at phase 1. At the start of the fight and throughout the fight, Neltharion raises walls around the room, each phase having their own pattern of walls. Taking a look at this award-winning picture, you can somewhat see the divide. Now players will be targeted by rushing shadows, which gives them a mark and then knocks them back, dealing damage and silencing anyone in their path. Also breaks wall if you get knocked into one, which opens the path and spawns tons of swirls. Again, swirls are bad. Now the tank mechanic will also knock back tanks, which can also be used to break walls. And after a bit, the boss will slam down an echoing fissure at the active tank's location, which is a huge circle that deals lethal damage reduced by distance. So run. Now this drops a fissure on the ground, and any subsequent fissure slams will trigger the AoE from all fissures. So you need to always be far away from all of these when it slams. So what we did was tank boss in the middle at the start, break walls towards the entrance, place the fissure at the far back, and raid runs out from the middle into the new pie slice near the entrance. A few seconds later, the walls will respawn, so if you're stuck in the middle, well, sucks to be you, or tank can break you out. But from here on out in phase 1, it's pretty much rinse repeat, break walls towards new pie slice, drop fissure, move into new slice, rinse repeat. And at 70%, phase 2 starts, which didn't really work as it's supposed to, but we'll go through it regardless. So when phase 2 starts, boss rearranges the walls around the room into a new purdy pattern. One ad will spawn in each pie slice, none in the middle, and these voices from beyond has a massive amount of HP and they all need to be killed to get to phase 3. However, you can't attack or even see these, or at least target them. Well, rip. However, the boss surrenders to corruption, dealing raid-wide damage and corrupting currently a class each time. Hopefully this changes, as this will potentially encourage extreme class stacking, which it did during PTR. And this is because when a player or a class gets corrupted, they get empowered and they're able to DPS the big ad. So each class gets a buff, if you will, usually a positive and a negative aspect to this. So for example, DKs will spawn patches of wild pestilence, which deals a ton of damage, but they will also grip players to their location into these puddles. Mages will do massive arcane explosion, which deals damage to players and the ad, etc, etc. And like I said, it will only choose a class. So if you have 8 DKs and DKs get picked to be corrupted, all DKs get corrupted. But I won't go through every single class buff / ability. It's enough with there's good and bad parts of the buffs. They all work pretty similar. But currently there are some that are a lot stronger, more dangerous than other, which means if it stays class only, I bet you're gonna see an LFG looking for 8 DKs for Heroic Neltharion, possibly 27 boomkins, which will be fun for a little bit. Anyways, players gets corrupted and they're able to nuke the ads, and these ads have, or they should have, an absorb on them, and once it's been depleted, everyone can see and attack them. Now this little part of the mechanic was not there while testing, so we could only nuke the ads while corrupted, since they had no absorb that we could break, and frankly that just wasn't possible. I know some mad peeps tried class stacking like 20 DKs and things like that, and they almost killed one. But assuming it does work, the idea is to tank Neltharion a bit away from an ad, as the corrupted players might AoE around them near that ad, and as soon as its shield is broken, tank boss on top of it, nuke it down whilst cleaving Neltharion, as the ad damage is more important. New corrupted player needs to move to new ads and break their shields, and so on and so forth. And tanks in this phase, when they get smacked by Sundering Shadow, boss slaps so hard their spirit leaves their body and they're able to run through walls. And shortly after that, Neltharion slaps your spiritless body, making it suck your spirit back in. And if your spirit passes through walls by this, it will break them. And you will need to do this to open up paths to the other ads for your corrupted players, as well as when one ad is dead, add so you can move the raid over there. Keep in mind though, the walls continuously respawn, so you will have to time this. Now once all 3 are defeated, phase 3 begins. Sadly, we did not get to test phase 3 for the previously mentioned reasons, as we were just not possible. But in phase 3, boss will cast Shattered Reality, which spawns several swirls or circles that deal damage to everyone in the raid as well as people who get hit by them. These will in turn spawn portals to the Void Realm, which continuously spawn twisted aberration ads that needs to be killed. Now, if a player stands in a portal, they take a bunch of ticking shadow damage. Their damage is reduced by 99%, but they take 99% less damage from Ebon Destruction, which is a raid-wide nuke that deals around 1.5 million damage to each player and leaves a dot if you survived. Now, standing in a portal when Ebon Destruction goes off also removes the portal, and like I said, you take 99% less damage from it. So without having tried it, my assumption is that it'll work a bit like Rygelon in Sepulchre back in Shadowlands. Boss does AoE, raid needs to be in portal before AoE goes off, or they die. The only thing I'm unsure of is how many portals. Is it 1 per player like Rygelon, or is it a few portals but several players can stand in them? And is there any way to bait/control where these portals spawn? Regardless, be in portal when Ebon Destruction goes off, and make sure to nuke down all the aberration ads fast, as they deal more damage the longer they're alive. Now other than that, boss will cast Rushing Shadow again, as well as a tank knockback slap. But the big phase 3 mechanic are the portals and Ebon Destruction. Now I'm unsure how the wall pattern looks like in phase 3, maybe something like this. But I assume it changes once again, and that we'll have to use Rushing Shadows and tank knockbacks to open the wall in order to get to the portals/ads throughout the phase. I think, yeah, that's pretty much it for Neltharion. Again, let me know what you think about this fight in the comments, and if you have any questions at all about this encounter, or become a patron or Twitch sub and get access to the Stankie Discord, where you can get help with anything raiding related. I'm also streaming all of my raid progression on Twitch, so make sure to check that out. Stankie Gaming. Don't forget the usual stuff. Like, comment, subscribe, and ring that notification bell. And yeah, thank you all for watching, and I will see you next time.